Got some breaking news tonight as moving trucks arrive at Mar-a-Lago, a stunning development from Greenland. 57% of its people want to join the United States. This is not speculation, folks. Young Greenlanders wearing MAGA hats are literally begging to become Americans. Meanwhile, Melania Trump announces she's cutting the First Lady's office size to save taxpayer money while the border wall construction resumes in Texas. But here's the bombshell. Trump's team is already prepping the Laken Act to empower law enforcement against criminal aliens, and the pieces are falling into place, and the establishment is terrified. Americans, while we witness this historic expansion of American influence, there is a critical threat to our food security that no one's talking about. I'm talking about our bee population. The national food chain depends on these crucial pollinators, but their numbers are declining rapidly. That's why Patriot Bee has created an urgent solution. For less than 17 cents a day, you can support both this show and bee restoration in America. Visit patriotbeebest.com now and use code NEXTNEWS for 25% off your monthly subscription. Join the hive of patriots protecting America's food security. Don't wait. Visit patriotbeebest.com today. We thank our sponsors. Okay. We were creeping on George Beezy tweets profile today. Lots of good stuff there. If you don't follow him, you should. First thing he says, the first thing that Trump should do before moving into the White House is invite some spirit-filled pastors to cast out the demons Joe Biden has invited into it. Yeah, definitely bring in the exorcists to cleanse that place. Remember that little old lady from the movie Poltergeist? She walks out, this house is clean. That's what we need, right? We need to bring her in there. At least probably a dozen of them, to be honest with you. Here we have this poll. It just comes out. Newly conducted poll shows that almost 60% of the people of Greenland want to join the United States and become Americans. Join USA, 57%, no, 37%. Did anyone really think Don Jr. and President Trump's representatives flew there for nothing? We are liberating Greenland. Here's that video of Trump Force One making its triumphant entry and landing into Greenland several days ago. And I think, what is the population of Greenland? It's like 50-something thousand people. So, 57% of 50,000 people. Come on. You could campaign that, send some people out there. You could change a lot of hearts and minds real quick. And I think it'd be pretty easy to win those people over. And we have some clips. You're going to see them in a moment. But first, we have the First Lady revealing she's going to cut down the size of the office to save money.
I want to first 100 days. What will that look like for you? What are you looking forward to the most?
I established my team. I have a few positions that I still need to hire. I will not rush into that. I will see when I'm in the White House and what it's needed. I don't want to hire too many people on my team and spending too much taxpayer money. I want to make sure that every position, they are talented, they have merit, they know what they're doing, and as well as they are team player. They don't have their own agenda, so they're serving me, they're serving my office, and they're serving the country.
And will you continue with your platform, Be Best?
I will continue with Be Best, and also I will expand Be Best. I started in the first administration. I didn't have much support from anyone. I invited all of the streaming platforms to the White House. I had the round table, and I didn't have much support from them. And imagine what we could do in those years if they will rally behind me and teach the children and protect them about the social media and their mental health.
How are you feeling about the busy schedule again, hitting the ground running on the 20th?
Very busy. We already started, and I think it will be an exciting 4 years. We have a lot to do. And
we have a lot to do indeed. I like the idea that she's going to go after social media and the mental pain that it's causing children. George Beezy, how do you say his last name? I'm so sorry, George. Beezy tweets, George Beezy. He says future historians will be super fascinated by Trump's genius plan of picking a Secretary of Defense who has a bunch of kids. Look at his family. Beautiful family. bunch of kids, and therefore has no vested interest in destroying America's future through endless foreign wars. Look at that beautiful family. Look at those kids in their little bow ties. Oh, man. Gotta love it, man. And then we have this also from George's profile on X. Senate Democrat leaders just sent notice to Merrick Garland. Senate Democrat leaders sent notice to Merrick Garland telling him to preserve all documents related to the Trump investigation and cases. This means they plan to reactivate the lawfare if they ever take power. Oh, Merrick Garland, buckle up. Maybe you should be filing for a pardon. And here's the clip that's going viral. Oh, baby, love this. Love this. They asked young men in Greenland to send a message to President Trump, and they didn't hold back.
By Greenland. I'm here in Greenland. This kid's got a MAGA hat on. What's your message to Donald Trump?
By Greenland.
By Greenland.
By Greenland. By Greenland.
No more Danish.
No more Danish. We don't like Danish people.
We don't like the Danish people. By Greenland. Oh, it's happening, folks. And here's that shot of the moving trucks outside of Mar-a-Lago. This is the live shot that was earlier today on C-SPAN. You can see them rolling out, fully loaded, making their way up the East Coast to Washington, D.C. for the historic return of Donald J. Trump to the White House, folks. Buckle up! I'm so excited. Oh, it has been such a strenuous 4 years. And then, of course, we got demonetized for the entire election cycle. They tried to kneecap us completely. But we're still here. We're still fighting because you guys are supporting us. Because we have God on our side. Oh, man. One of President Trump's first acts in office could be to sign the Laken Riley Act, which will empower cops to finally start detaining criminal illegal aliens.
I've also met with the wonderful family of Laken Riley, the brilliant 22-year-old nursing student. She was so proud of being first in her class, who was out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia when she was assaulted, beaten, and horrifically killed.
Such a horrible story. Finally, we will have justice. The Laken Riley Act will give law enforcement the tools that they need. And here's more from George. He says, most Democrats still don't realize this, but if Trump fulfills all of his promises, like draining the swamp, terminating the deep state, and ending censorship, he will get to control the White House until the day he dies. Let's listen to this commentary here. I haven't heard it yet, but I like this guy.
Yeah, and I was like, look, if President Trump accomplishes what he needs to do in the next 4 years and fulfills all those promises, restores free speech to the internet, cuts the government, in my opinion, by 90%. We don't really need a lot of these agencies. We need to shut them down. I heard someone yesterday was like, oh, I think this person should be director of the ATF. And I was like, oh, no, I just think the ATF shouldn't exist because they're unconstitutional. So if he accomplishes everything that he has to accomplish that he promised, I don't think Democrats are going to have a shot in 2028. I think we're going to enter into a Jeffersonian kind of era. Thomas Jefferson, our third president, was so good. I mean, he orchestrated the Louisiana Purchase, which is really one of the best real estate deals in world history. Because look at everything that territory brought to the United States, the wealth, the power, and the grandeur, right? Jefferson spent 8 years in office, and then his best friend, James Madison, followed after him. And Jefferson essentially endorsed him. Back then, you didn't have Truth Social to endorse him.
Right.
Everyone just assumed you were around him a lot, so that we're going to vote for him. And then James Monroe, another one of Jefferson's good friends, he was president after James Madison. And then John Quincy Adams, although his dad and Jefferson, were on politically different sides for a little bit, reconciled later in their lives, but were politically in division there. He was still part of that Jeffersonian ideology, that Democrat Republicanism that governed the country for the first, 50 years.
Yeah.
So if Trump does the right thing, we're going to enter into one of the most interesting times where he can pick our next two presidents, however long he's alive. If he just goes, I like JD, we're getting JD Vance.
Yeah.
So Look,
I love it. I love this guy's optimism. Oh, yes. The next 50 years, baby. Bring it. Here's footage of the border wall construction in Texas. Governor Abbott is wasting no time getting construction underway. And then we also have this from the NELK Boys, Juanita Broderick. She's quote tweeting this from George. The NELK Boys are in Greenland asking locals to sign a petition to join the United States. And it looks like they're handing out American flags and Trump stickers. The response they are going to get will be overwhelming. It will be better than hiring a pollster. Here is the picture of them hanging out. And then here's the petition. I don't know if you can see it well enough. But yeah, you can see welcome Greenland to the United States. So they're already on the ground starting a petition. And Tom Homan's on the ground as well. He's working on creating a hotline where Americans can report undocumented immigrants who've committed a crime. So get that number on speed dial, will you?
We're doing and where we're going to take steps to secure the border.
President-elect Trump's incoming border czar Tom Homan tells us mass deportation will include workplace roundups.
Deportation.
Are we talking around Inauguration Day, even on Inauguration Day?
I'm not going to forecast what we're doing and where we're doing it, but you can count on worksite enforcement coming back.
ICE agents have told us they prioritize arresting undocumented immigrants with criminal records. Critics have asked, what about undocumented family members?
Will there be collateral arrests?
Yes. It's not okay to be in this country illegally.
Homan's also working on creating a hotline where Americans can report undocumented immigrants who've committed a crime.
We're going to take steps to secure the border.
President-elect Trump's
Let's
incoming
go.
borders.
What's the number? Get it on speed dial, folks. And then, there's all this talk about Donald Trump and and Canada and the merging of the two economies and all these things. Personally, I think it's just a lot of leverage. It's a lot of negotiating tactics. Just from a couple of tweets, he's got Trudeau to resign. He's got the Canadian economy in an uproar. You got Canadian politicians, declaring they're going to make Canada great again. Here's Jagmeet saying he's in Canada. He's one of the vocal members up there. He has a message for Donald Trump. Listen.
For Donald Trump, our country's not for sale. Not now, not ever. I lived across this country, and I can tell you, Canadians are a proud people. We're proud of our country, and we're ready to fight like hell to defend it. Right now, with the forest fires ravaging homes, Canadian firefighters showed up. That's who we are. We show up and support our neighbors. But if you think you can pick a fight with us, there'll be a price to pay. I've committed that if Donald Trump imposes tariffs on us, we should respond with retaliatory tariffs in kind. I think that anyone running as prime minister should do the same.
Oh yeah, you think so, buddy? You think you're gonna threaten us with tariffs? You really want to start that game? No, you're messing with the wrong economy, pal. Listen, I love you. I love your passion. I love your passion for your country, but no, don't even try. All right, we're gonna win this one. Governor Ron DeSantis. He's already out there saying he might fire certain public officials who do not obey Trump's deportations. Let's listen.
This year, on the head of a natural disaster, you got people that come here without authorization and they go out and try to loot the place. Give me a break. Those people need to be sent back immediately. So this will end up helping the overall situation, even apart from immigration. Now, the accountability is significant. If those duties are clear in law, I have the authority with respect to certain officials to suspend them from their office if they are neglecting their duties. And that's a authority that I have invoked when it's been appropriate in the past. We also need to make sure that we don't have incentives for people to come illegally. We enacted E-Verify. People said that couldn't happen. We really did probably the strongest legislation in the country in 2023. So I think Florida has really done a great job, with one lingering exception. So back in 2014, the legislature enacted and then the then governor signed legislation providing preferential tuition for illegal immigrants, in-state tuition. That is a benefit that you're rewarding somebody for being here illegally.
So Ron DeSantis taking steps as well to reinforce Donald Trump's immigration policy. Says today, I called for a special session of the Florida legislature the week of January 27 to prepare Florida to lead on the Trump administration's deportation program. We will allocate resources and ensure state and local officials in Florida are supporting these efforts. Go Ron. And then remember we had the story about Fetterman going down to Mar-a-Lago. Oh yeah, people on the left are freaking out about that. They can't handle the fact that, you could have dialogue with such a man as Donald Trump, right? Remember, he's literally Hitler. Essen Views says Fetterman was elected as a progressive Democrat. His normalization of Donald Trump is the epitome of a sellout. Yeah, they're pretty pissed off about that. Eric Darty reporting, Trump met with Senator John Fetterman at Mar-a-Lago. Trump, what he had to say? It was a totally fascinating. He's a fascinating man, and his wife is lovely. I couldn't be more impressed. He's a common sense person. He's not a liberal or conservative, which is beautiful. That is what Donald Trump had to say about meeting John Fetterman. And Fetterlump, I think, he is kind of growing on me, like that lump on his neck. And I kind of like the guy. I like to hear what he has to say. I'm not going to jump behind everything he does, but I think it's good to see a little bit of unity starting to formulate. And at least we got one guy willing to step across the aisle to do that. So much is happening, and we're here for it. And plus, these kids are like, buy Greenland, right? Now look at what's unfolding. We've got moving trucks at Mar-a-Lago. We got border wall construction resuming. Greenland begging to join America, and the First Lady already planning to cut wasteful spending, and most importantly, the Laken-Riley Act ready for signing. This is not just a return to power. It is a complete transformation of America's future. Even Democrat Senator John Fetterman is meeting with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, admitting he's impressed. The tide isn't just turning, it's becoming a tsunami. So here's tonight's critical question. If Trump fulfills his promise to drain the swamp, terminate the deep state, and end censorship, will the Democrats ever regain power? Share your thoughts below and be part of history. The MAGA Avengers gear dropping at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Linked below.